Hey there, fellow Americans. Breaking news that's going to change the lives of millions. Congress has just passed a groundbreaking bill that could put an extra $2,850 in Social Security beneficiaries' pockets every single month starting January. If you're wondering how this massive change could affect you or your loved ones, you're in the right place. Before we dive deep into this game-changing development, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on the latest Social Security news and benefits information that matters to you. The unprecedented bill, which has sent shockwaves through Washington and across the nation, represents one of the most significant increases in Social Security benefits in American history. But what exactly does this mean for the average beneficiary, and how did we get here? The story behind this remarkable development began with mounting pressure from advocacy groups and a growing recognition of the financial struggles faced by seniors and disabled Americans in today's economy. For decades, Social Security recipients have watched their purchasing power gradually erode as annual cost of living adjustments, COLAs, failed to keep pace with real-world expenses. The question on everyone's mind has been, when will Congress finally take decisive action to address this widening gap? Well, that moment has finally arrived, and it's bigger than anyone expected. But what makes this particular increase so different from previous adjustments? The $2,850 monthly raise represents a fundamental shift in how the government approaches Social Security benefits. Unlike traditional COLAs, which are typically tied to inflation metrics, this increase is designed to establish a new baseline that better reflects the actual cost of living for seniors and disabled Americans in today's economy. Have you ever wondered why previous adjustments seemed to fall short? The answer lies in the outdated formulas used to calculate these increases, which often failed to account for modern expenses like healthcare costs and technology needs. Let's break down what this means for different categories of beneficiaries. For retired workers who have spent decades contributing to the system, this increase could mean the difference between just getting by and actually enjoying their golden years. For disabled Americans who rely on Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, this raise could provide the financial breathing room they've long needed. But how exactly will these funds be distributed, and what steps do beneficiaries need to take to ensure they receive their full increase? The implementation of this historic raise will begin in January, but the preparations are already underway. The Social Security Administration, SSA, is gearing up for what might be its biggest operational challenge in recent history. Have you considered how this massive undertaking will affect the millions of Americans who depend on these benefits? The logistics involved are staggering, but the SSA has assured the public that they're prepared to handle the transition smoothly. One of the most frequently asked questions is about eligibility. Who exactly qualifies for this increase, and are there any conditions that might affect the amount received? The good news is that this raise applies to all current Social Security beneficiaries, including retired workers, disabled individuals, and survivors. But what about those who are planning to claim benefits in the near future? How will this change affect their calculations and potential benefit amounts? The funding for this substantial increase has been a topic of intense debate. Critics have raised concerns about the long-term sustainability of such a significant raise, while supporters argue that it's long overdue and necessary for maintaining the dignity and financial security of beneficiaries. But where exactly is this money coming from, and what measures are being put in place to ensure the program's stability? To understand the full impact of this legislation, it's important to consider the broader economic context. With inflation concerns and rising costs of essential goods and services, many beneficiaries have been struggling to make ends meet. How will this increase help address these challenges, and what effect might it have on the overall economy? Economic experts suggest that this injection of funds into the hands of Social Security recipients could have a positive ripple effect throughout the economy, as beneficiaries spend more on goods and services. The bill includes several provisions designed to protect this increase from future economic fluctuations. But what safeguards are in place to ensure that this raise maintains its value over time? The legislation incorporates new mechanisms for adjusting benefits based on real-world cost increases, particularly in areas that most affect seniors and disabled Americans, such as healthcare and housing. For those wondering about the tax implications of this increase, the bill addresses this concern as well. How will this additional income affect beneficiaries' tax situations, and what steps should they take to prepare? The legislation includes provisions to minimize the tax impact on recipients, ensuring that they retain as much of the increase as possible. The timing of this increase couldn't be more crucial, as many beneficiaries face mounting financial pressures. But what specific challenges does this raise address, and how might it change the daily lives of recipients? From affording necessary medications to maintaining stable housing, the impact of this increase could be transformative for millions of Americans. One of the most significant aspects of this legislation is its attention to the unique needs of different beneficiary groups. How does the bill account for varying circumstances, and what special provisions are included for particularly vulnerable populations? The legislation includes targeted support for those with the greatest need, ensuring that the increase provides meaningful assistance where it's most required. The implementation process will be gradual, with systems being updated and notifications sent to beneficiaries. But what should recipients do to prepare for this change, and how can they ensure they receive their full increase? The SSA will be providing detailed guidance, but it's important for beneficiaries to keep their contact information updated and monitor their accounts. Looking ahead, this raise could set a new standard for how we support Social Security beneficiaries. But what does this mean for the future of the program, and how might it influence future policy decisions? The success of this increase could pave the way for more regular and substantial adjustments to ensure benefits keep pace with real-world needs. The impact on local communities could be substantial, as increased spending power among beneficiaries often translates to greater economic activity. But how will this play out in different regions, and what role might local organizations play in helping beneficiaries maximize the benefits of this increase? Community organizations and financial advisors are preparing to assist beneficiaries in making the most of this additional income. For family members and caregivers of Social Security recipients, this raise could also bring significant changes. How might it affect care arrangements and financial planning decisions? The increased benefits could provide more options for care and support, potentially improving quality of life for both beneficiaries and their families. The political implications of this bill are far-reaching, potentially setting a new precedent for bipartisan cooperation on social welfare issues. But what does this mean for future Social Security legislation, and how might it affect ongoing debates about the program's future? The successful passage of this bill could signal a shift in how Congress approaches Social Security reform. As we approach the January implementation date, many beneficiaries are wondering about the practical aspects of receiving this increase. Will it come as a separate payment, or will it be incorporated into regular monthly benefits? How will back payments be handled if there are any delays? The SSA has promised clear communication about these details in the coming months. For those who receive other forms of government assistance, questions arise about how this increase might affect their eligibility for other programs. What considerations should beneficiaries keep in mind, and what resources are available to help them understand these interactions? The legislation includes provisions to minimize negative impacts on other benefits, but recipients should stay informed about their specific situations. The role of advocacy groups in achieving this historic increase cannot be understated. But what comes next in their efforts to protect and improve Social Security benefits? Many organizations are already looking ahead to future challenges and opportunities for enhancing the program's effectiveness. As we conclude this discussion of this momentous change in Social Security benefits, it's worth reflecting on what it means for the future of social support in America. Will this set a new standard for how we care for our elderly and disabled citizens? Could this lead to similar improvements in other social programs? The answers to these questions will unfold in the coming months and years. Remember, staying informed about these changes is crucial for maximizing their benefits. How can you ensure you don't miss any important updates or deadlines? The best way is to stay connected with reliable sources of information and, of course, to subscribe to this channel for ongoing coverage of Social Security news and developments. This historic increase represents more than just a monetary adjustment. It's a statement about our values as a society and our commitment to supporting those who need it most. How will you use this information to help yourself or your loved ones prepare for these coming changes? The time to start planning is now. Don't forget to like this video, share it with anyone who might benefit from this information, and subscribe to our channel for more updates on Social Security benefits and other important financial news. Together, we can ensure that everyone who's eligible for these increased benefits is prepared to receive them and use them effectively.